Hi guys, welcome to a little bit of woo woo. I said I was gonna be back on Friday, but I'm back a little early because it turns out I have something to do on Friday that I don't. I'm not gonna want to talk after. I'm just gonna put that. I'm be doing so much talking. I won't want to do that. So I wanted to talk about stuff I was seeing happening in the near future, and boy, it's been a rough week, hasn't it, you guys? We had a plane come down. We had a whole bunch of parades, which were awesome, and then one that nobody watched went to, which was kind of awesome to watch on TV. I gotta admit, I was kind of surprised by how few people were there. I really didn't expect that to happen. I mean, I didn't expect it to happen like that. Okay, you guys, and I was sort of sad. I felt like they could have done the army could have had those little celebrations maybe in local communities instead and probably enjoyed it a lot more. But nobody asked me what I thought, so I didn't have a say in that. I felt a little sorry for those guys, but it is what it is, right? Okay, so let's get into it. I had great interview with Kim Intuitive You yesterday. If you guys haven't seen that episode, you should. I had some leftover questions. I should have booked it for an hour and a half, but I didn't. Yeah, next time if she comes back, I will. You guys. So I had a bunch of questions I wanted to answer. Some of them are things you guys have asked in the comments, and forgive me if it takes me a while sometimes to answer those. I forget. I make a list somewhere and then I forget where I put it, and then I come back. Oh yeah, I never did answer that question. So the first one I want to answer is stay till the end because I got the good stuff's at the end, you guys. I wanted to talk about this Oregon volcano because people have been asking me about this one for a while. It's off the coast, and this one affects me because it's not terribly far from where I live. And intuitively, every time I tuned into this, I was getting that there was nothing there to be concerned about. So I actually did a little research because I went to school to be a geologist, you guys, and I didn't see it. It doesn't look like there's anything to this. It does look like it is going to erupt. It does look like there may be a little bit of a surge in water. There might be some warnings before that happens. I'm not concerned about it. However, if you live right next to the coast of Oregon and you're concerned and you feel like you should be worried, then take precautions. Just don't listen to me. And don't listen to me for any of this stuff. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. If you need one of those, call one of those. God, definitely not a stock portfolio manager. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe just my own portfolio. Anyway, I'm telling you guys, I'm not seeing anything happen with that. I do think we're still going to be hearing about it. It's a little bit of noise, but that's what I'm getting with this one. Someone asked about if we were ever going to have a single payer healthcare system, which if I'm not mistaken, you guys, forgive me if I forgive my ignorance on this one. I feel like that was the original solution that maybe Hillary Clinton had during the first Clinton administration when they were trying to solve the do some affordable care healthcare. I think that's what the original plan was, like maybe letting people pay into Medicare early. I do see that happening, but not with this administration, obviously. I'm feeling it maybe even the second term of the next administration. So not whoever comes right, like whoever comes after the 47 administration. I do feel like that actually is going to be a thing, and it may be a little bit like those of you who have experience with Kaiser, which is like an HMO where you pay in every month and then you just go, do what you need to. I feel like it might be that sort of arrangement where they just expand Medicare. I don't necessarily think that the regular healthcare companies are going to go away, but it feels like it might be like a choice. You get to use this option instead of the other option, and a lot of people are going to choose to do it because it works out well. I do see that coming. The other question people have asked me is about the CB. I think it's central bank currency. Pardon me. I do see that happening later, but I don't feel like it's going to completely replace cash. I do think we are still going to have some cash. If there's a time when there's no cash where it's just these cards, that's way in the future, like further away than the guides are showing me. Because I do see that that we're still going to be using cash, and I think there's going to be times when maybe during earthquake events or hurricane type events where there won't be the ability to use credit cards for temporarily because of power. I don't know. Pardon me. But I do see times and situations where won't be able to do credit cards, and so people will be glad they have their cash and they'll see the need. I don't see that going away, and I feel like they've tried several times. There may be that as an option, but I still see cash. But people just do not want that. They don't trust. I don't know why they wouldn't trust the government. Oh my god. Anyway, they don't trust it and they don't want it. And I feel like that's one where people really will put their foot down. Okay, you guys. I wanted to talk about this ICE thing, you guys. I actually know somebody now who's been picked up by ICE. I didn't know what his status was. It's not like you ask people, and he's a friend of a friend. It's not somebody I know that well. I've talked to him, but yeah, I didn't know he wasn't a full resident. I mean, he's a legal resident, but yeah, this is really sad, you guys, because it feels like it's not just top down. Because I know that they had said there was a quota now. They're supposed to try and nab 3,000 a day, which is hard to find 3,000 criminals. So they're going for the low hanging fruit. But it does feel like it's up on the top level, up at the administration, and it's even in the middle levels as well. So there's a lot of this, let's go get these guys from lots of different areas. So I do see, I wish I could say, oh, this is gonna be over in like an hour and a half, but I do see this one going into next year where we're still gonna be seeing these very scary ICE raids that are gonna make the news. And you guys, they really want them to make the news. They want this to be public so that it scares people and keeps them from coming over the border. And my goodness, it's actually working. I mean, you guys, if you see the numbers of people coming over, it's pretty low. So that's it's definitely an approach, and they're doing it and scaring people, and it is causing a lot of anger in the communities and a lot of fear. It's not how I would do it, but that's not how I would do it. Okay, and it's really really sad, but we are going to be seeing it. I personally am more than a little afraid of this idea of seeing people with masks grab people and throw them in cars, and instead of us calling the police, they're normalizing that, and now we're thinking, oh, don't worry about it, it's just ICE. There was no badge, there's face masks, it's totally allowed. It scares me a lot as a person and as American, but you know that's my opinion, and you're welcome to think something differently. We can disagree and still be friends, you guys. Okay. So the other thing I didn't want to talk about, but I'm going to talk about, is because, oh, you guys, I'm so sorry about this Middle East conflict. I hate to say it, but I do see it getting quite a bit worse. I pulled cards on this one, and I was seeing all of the surprise cards, all of the aces, the Hierophant, unknown things, unknown information. It feels like both sides are keeping something close to the vest, and we are going to see some shocking unaliving events happening in the Middle East, and I'm so sorry, but that's what I'm seeing, and I think this is going to go on and get quite a bit worse, and then there will be a calm and a peace afterward. I don't see American boots on the ground, like literal with Americans in them. Let's put it that way. For those of you guys listening on the podcast, it's air quotes support that we're going to be giving them, meaning some of those blowy uppy things that end up on foreign soil may say "Made in America" stamped on the back of them. Okay, I'm sorry, but that is what I'm seeing, and I do see that kind of going into next year as well. The next administration, I can't say how long that's going to go on. I mean, I feel like the Middle East conflict is going to go on off and on for a long time, like years and years and years. But I do feel like there will be a calm peacefulness before the end of the year lull. I guess you would say this lull could last for a while. But I think there'll be some resolution to what's happening right in the immediate situation, with a change in administration in some of the Middle East countries. Okay. So you guys can use your imagination how that might happen. Okay. So, but as a result of this, as a result of these different nations taking sides, and again, just like Kim, I don't see WW3 happening. These nations taking sides, I do feel like that's going to interrupt anything resembling a China deal, which I don't think was really made anyway. So I do see us still having some product shortages coming through the end of the year. I know other people have talked about this, and I've talked about it in previous videos, but I still say you should be stocked up on kind of the basics, just a few extra months of them. And if there's something that you get from another country that's hard to get, wouldn't be a bad idea to have some extra. Use your intuition, use your own wisdom. In some countries, this and some states, this will be more of an issue than others, particularly if we're talking about the states where there's a lot of agriculture labor that might get interrupted by some of these ice raids. But I do see some food supply interruptions, and I do think the China deal was never really, there was nothing there. It was just sort of saving face on both sides, but I don't think they got anywhere with that. And I do think that China's going to pull back a bit. And again, we're going to be back to this little weave thing that happens. tariffs on, tariffs off. Now we're going to be talking about Greenland again. Now we're going to be talking about Canada again. We're going to forget about Greenland. Now we're going to be talking about the Panama Canal. It's going to go around and around as they continue this trying to change the conversation business. I hate to say this, but it is a lot of, my hand is bigger than your hand with these egos within the administrations. I'll let you guys use your imagination on that one. But it does feel like there's a lot of that happening. And I hate to say how sad this is because I see this happening with Powell and Trump as well. Um, he had the FOMC meeting. He had I think his speech was yesterday, which was kind of interesting. Yeah, we're not going to really lower interest rates that much this year, but I do see them absolutely doing it. They're going to have to. We're the only central bank that hasn't yet. They're going to do 25 basis points, but I think they're going to say 25 basis points, and later on, when they get a chance, they're going to lower it quite a bit. I can't say exactly when, so please don't buy bonds based on what I've just said. This is for entertainment purposes only, and it is really hard to time. And that one's a tough one. But I will say, do see them caving on that eventually. But I can't tell you exactly when. That's a tough one. Okay. Oh, planes. You guys, I'm so sorry about what we've been seeing with the planes. I don't see anything like that happening again for a while. I have a travel arrangement that involves a plane this summer. I'm not worried. I'm still going to fly. I think you guys should too. I know that my hypnotherapy practice, worried about getting on planes, is going to explode a little bit like it always does after something like this happens in the news. But I think it's going to be okay, you guys. These planes fly all the time, and then we see relatively few incidents. But when we do, wow, it's a big, fiery, scary incident on TV. But it's going to be okay. And I'm not afraid of flying on a plane anymore. I think we all have to sit in that moment and sit in that seat and go, I hope that somebody will feed my cat if this doesn't go well. But that's human nature. We all think that, right? Sometimes I think that when I get in my own car. But you're going to land your plane. They're going to have your bag. Everything's going to be okay. I promise. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Okay, so I also wanted to talk about 47's illnesses. Now, we talked about this a little bit less, actually, in the episode I did yesterday, too. You don't need a psychic to look at him and see that you're seeing a man who does not look healthy. It's really sad, right? I do feel like we may see him even in the not so distant future taking a air quotes leave. Maybe he's going to take a week and go to Mar-a-Lago. But what we don't know is he's receiving some kind of medical treatment. Maybe even Vance is sworn in temporarily. I do think that's going to happen. I don't feel like if anything like that happens, where he's going on air quotes leave for a week or 2 weeks, I do feel like he's going to be back. The thing is, they don't want him gone. He's still got more to play, more of the story to do. I do see some scandal coming before the end of the year, and I do feel like they kind of know that that's coming, and they want him to still be in office when it does happen because there may be some things they want him to do. But yeah, I do see his health is really deteriorated. I'm sorry. I don't wish ill on anyone, even somebody I don't like who's made things miserable for people I care about. But I do see that happening, and I do see that it just doesn't look, it just doesn't look well, right? I think we're going to be seeing in the fairly soon-ish future, he's going to take a break. And they may even say it's like, they may even say, oh, he's just getting a mole removed or something. It's in a weird spot. I don't know. I'm just saying they may claim it's something it's not, to make it not look so bad, right? But what's really happening is different. I do feel like there will be some leaks. There will be a lot of deny. Oh, look over here. Maybe we're going to send a destroyer to the Panama Canal. Leaks, deny. Oh, look over here. Let's do something mean to Canada and say something not nice. You guys already know that kind of thing happens. But in terms of Canada, you guys, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about Canada. They're fine. We're not going to do anything to them. They're going to hurt us by not giving us any of their Canadian money, their loonies and their toonies. They're going to hurt us a lot more than we're ever going to do to them. Trust me on this one. They're going to get their revenge. They're with their money. They're smart. And I hate to say it, I don't blame them. Don't blame them. If you own an Airbnb and you're hurting because we don't have those Canadian dollars, I'm sorry. I do think they're going to come back next summer. But we might not be seeing those loonies and those toonies this year. That is what they call their money, by the way. I'm not just making that up. Okay, that's all I have, really. I will, end with a little bit of advice. Just wake up every day and decide that it's going to be a good day, that you're going to have something amazing happen, that good things are going to happen to you. There might be some stuff in the news that's not nice, but it's not going to happen to you. It's only going to be good. It's only going to be good in your part of the world. And if you've got some extra coins, and you want to do something nice, the food banks are starving, like literally starving for money. They would love money. They'll take stuff. They would love it if you dropped them a few cans of food, and spare some thought for the victims of the hurricanes that happened last year that are still rebuilding and largely have been completely left off the news. Peter Santenelli did a video on this recently. I'll put it in the description because I think everybody should watch it, on what's really happening in those hurricane areas. But spare some thought for them, send some thoughts and some prayers, but also spare a little change for the local food banks, and just know that you're loved. And again, just wake up every day and decide that it's going to be good, because it is. It really is. I love you guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. Bye.